Welcome to episode 2 of the Self-Love Summit podcast. I'm Wendy Parker.
And I'm Sharon Schmidt.
And today we're going to have a little chat. We promised you after episode 1 that we were going to go into what Louise's 9 points of philosophy are. So the 9 points of basic philosophy. Number 1, what we give out, we get back. Number 2, what we believe about ourselves and life becomes true for us. Number 3, our thoughts are creative. Number 4, we are worth loving. Number 5, self-approval and self-acceptance are the keys to positive changes. Number 6, we can release the past and forgive everyone. Number 7, forgiveness opens the doorway to love. Number 8, love is the most powerful healing force there is. And number 9, just be willing.
Oh, I always even when I just hear them like that, I just love the energy that comes from them. They're just so powerful and short, sharp little philosophies, but just really, really powerful, aren't they? They're just,
it actually changes the energy when you hear them like that and you think, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Makes sense of a lot of things. A lot of things that we will harbour ourselves. But when we see it so simply put like that and we hear it like that,
yes,
it's like, okay, so what we give out, we get back. So how can I change? Am I being a bitch? Because if I'm being a bitch, then of course people are going to be bitchy back.
That's
am I being loving? Because if I'm being loving, then what I'm going to get back is going to be all about love.
And it really comes from, is it coming from a heart space or is it coming from my ego space?
Exactly. What we believe about ourselves and life becomes true for us. If you believe you are going to be busted ass broke, guaranteed you will be, and the universe or, God, whatever you want to call it, will be sending you window face envelopes. You will, there will be
I was like, what is a window face envelope? I haven't even heard of that for such a long time. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but you know what? Isn't that real? Like, isn't that
true? It is.
It's absolutely, if that's if we believe that we will never, ever, ever be able to get that parking space, guaranteed we will never get that parking space.
The parking fairy works for me every single time.
Absolutely. Our thoughts are creative. Like, really? Yeah. If we didn't have those thoughts about what we could do for others,
I know,
we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And allowing your space. I mean, that's really important too, isn't it? Creating that space so you can be creative, so that your thoughts can just blossom.
Yeah. And stop the monkey mind at the end of the day.
Damn old monkey mind.
We are worth loving. We lose that from the time, when we're born into this world. Like I said, on an earlier episode, the tall poppy syndrome, if you will love yourself, you were, everyone looked down upon you because that, and we all went through life with judgment. I think everyone's experienced it, if we're really honest, that if you did tend to love yourself, it wasn't a good thing. But in actual fact, in my world, I do. I can honestly say that, and I do that with my mirror work every day. But that is, I do love myself, and I know that you're the same. I love the little inner self in my smaller version of me, my child. I love every age where I've been, and that's there's good reason, because it will follow. Self-approval and self-acceptance are the keys to positive changes. So when I accept myself and the love and accept myself, then my everything to do with me changes. Everything to do with what I do changes, with who I be changes, with my environment changes.
And I can't stress, Wendy, it just doesn't happen overnight. This is work we've been doing for a long time, isn't it? And Louise, she did the work right up until she passed over.
That's exactly right. For her, it was a journey of, she didn't write the Heal Your Life book until she was 50.
That's exactly right.
So she had
that
40
gives me-
years of this, but,
Yes.
you know, to say that you're too old to look at any of this, garbage, because it's never too late to make changes. Never live a day of your life with regret. That's my
No,
motto.
absolutely not.
We can release the past and forgive everyone, and we can, because you know what? We can't change one thing. I can't change a word that I said 2 minutes ago. I can't change any single thing. What I can do is forgive myself, take note of it, and then make amends. And making amends might be that I need to do something a little bit different. I need to go and apologize. I need to make a change within myself. I need to forgive myself first before I can forgive anyone else. But you know, one of the things is don't take everything so personally either.
But forgiveness is key. You know, it's one of the key changes. You need to forgive yourself or forgive others to allow yourself to move forward. But letting go is just as important.
How many people's lives have been absolutely miserable because of grudges?
Oh, look, I've got a great story to tell in one of our upcoming podcasts about, a brother that held a grudge for a very long time, and I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. Forgiveness opens the doorway to love, which it does. You know, you can't be in two states at one time. You can't be in a state of that grudge and love at the same time. So to forgive is going to allow you to be more in that loving energy. And, you know, when we know the mind-body connection and how those emotions sit in our physical body and create dis-ease, there's only one way to go, and that's to opt for forgiveness and get into that place where you're resonating and you're vibrating just that love energy.
Yes. Oh, totally. It's working from the heart is totally incredible, and it's a totally different feeling than working from a state of anger.
Yeah, absolutely. Love is the most powerful healing force there is. And I think that Louise did a lot of work around, you know, when she was doing her work with the AIDS patients, you know, that was huge, because that healing force, I mean, have a look at how, you know, reading back on the work around that she did do, there's a lot of people that harbored a lot of lack mentality because they were just really had been, I believe that a touch is worth $1 million. You know, a hug, a 20-second hug is exactly the same as having a pharmaceutical medication because of what it will do to your serotonin and dopamine. So knowing full well that is the transfer of you know, when you hug, it's a bodily touch, isn't it? It's a heart-to-heart thing.
That's right.
You know, that is the transfer of love from one being to another being, and knowing that can change so much, that we know has been tested scientifically that is what it does. It only takes 20 seconds to know that if you were to embrace that whole healing space, you know, have a look at Louise's journey with self-love, healing from cancer. I know that I've looked at exactly that myself. You know, where does it sit within your body? What is it representing? You know, and that's another whole area to explore, really, isn't it? Because I love going down that path.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a journey.
I say to everybody all the time, love is the ultimate. It's the ultimate emotion you can ever experience, and it can just transform your words just like your thoughts do.
But you know, when we really are totally honest with ourselves, we are we're a soul having a physical experience.
We are love.
So
love.
All we are is the energy of love that is vibrating at such a degree that it gives us a physical form that we walk this earth in. Yes. So, you know, it's really, it's about how you look at things. And that's where Wayne's work comes in. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
And her last one is just be willing. You know, we've got a lot of people out there that, you know, I'm stoic and, you know, they did that to me. So when you're pointing the finger out there, there's 3 looking back at you always. But you just got to be willing to have a look at those things. You may not want to forgive someone. They may not have done something nice to you. Like that, it may have been absolutely something that's changed your world forever. And there's a lot of people out there with exactly that experience. But if you're just willing to have a look at this work and to just maybe put your toe in the water, just dabble in there just for but a few minutes each day and build on that, the ripple effect that I said before is just huge.
Oh, totally. And, follow us on our episodes through this journey and you will take some amazing nuggets away because we'll be sharing our experiences.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode around each one of these philosophies.
Yes.
And our personal experiences around that, and the experience of those that we've worked with coaching. And yes, confidentiality is huge for us.
Oh, totally.
But the experience we can talk about without it having to name anyone in particular, which is one of those things that it's quite often people hearing somebody else's story that will ultimately propel them into looking into the work themselves, or to actually doing something about it, or that it resonates, and so that they can go, you know what, I am not crazy, I am not alone, and yes, there are possibilities for me, because we are in that's the energy we want people to be in, that totality of possibilities.
Oh, and we need that. There's a lot of people feeling a lot of hurt over the last, I'm going to say 5 years, particularly the last 3 or 2, depending on where you've been and what you've been doing. But, we've had some significant universal energy changes. We are in for more change coming, but in a much nicer way. And wouldn't it be better to live in a place of peace and love? Then we already know what it was like to live in upheaval, confusion, fear, distress. That's what we've been living. Flip the coin on it and let's start to live in a place that comes from our heart, that comes from our soul. And that's what these podcasts are going to be able to take you on that journey.
Yeah, it's about self-empowerment. Don't surrender your power outside of yourself. You have everything within you. We're not here to be the gurus. We're not,
we're not gurus. No,
Tony Robbins has got an absolutely brilliant documentary out called I'm Not Your Guru. And I think that everyone has to realize that you have within you the power within you. Your soul is such a powerful source, because it is a reflection of your source. My mantra every single day is I am a reflection of my source, which is magnificent in every way. When you start your day with that every single day, and you realize that you are part of something greater than just a physical being here right now, then it is a case, really, isn't it, that we can embark on, knowing that we can make changes. We aren't victims. We don't have to just accept.
No,
we can actually be very much a force for our own good. And that's,
absolutely. And you'll hear me say this often throughout this podcast. We are in control of our choices, our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. And nearly everything else beyond that is out of our control. So why don't you control you first? And with that, I might just move into some philosophies, some more points around the philosophies of those that we just went through.
And these are gems.
These are gems. Absolute gems, aren't they? We are each responsible for all of our experiences.
Amen.
Every thought we think is creating our future.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone suffers from self-hatred and guilt.
Yeah.
The bottom line for everyone is I'm not good enough. It's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Resentment, criticism, guilt are the most damaging patterns. Releasing resentment will dissolve even cancer.
Mm-hmm.
When we really love ourselves, everything in our life works. Oh my goodness, that is so true. We must release the past and forgive everyone. And that was a really hard one for me, and we will go into that further. I have certainly a lot of life experience around that. We must be willing to begin to learn to love ourselves. So you don't need to learn to love yourself straight up. It can be a journey, and you can come on that with us here.
Yeah.
Self-approval and self-acceptance in the now are the keys to positive changes. We create every so-called illness in our body. Oh, that's true, but it hurts, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I reckon we probably should.
The one there that I love the most is the point of power is always in the present moment.
Did I miss that?
Well, I think we've got two different editions of this book. So
so they've got two different philosophies in them.
They're not different philosophies. They're just some points around the philosophies. It's just not a change, but just So it's interesting,
different
isn't
perspectives,
it?
different perspectives, isn't it? Different. As the next version of the book was written, they found something new and more enticing to share with us.
That's right. So we might finish this episode on a great note and a gift from our hearts to you.
Hearts to yours.
Yes, it's called a treatment. And this is one of the things that Louise was very big on, affirmations and treatments. And an affirmation is something that you can recite, you can repeat over and over, and you can have them around the house. You can have them on cards. She had some brilliant card decks that she's published over the years. But the treatments are really, I think they go a lot deeper into the heart. I think that there's something a little bit more potent and a little bit more intense. So I'm going to finish this episode with this treatment. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole and complete, and yet life is ever changing. There is no beginning and no end, only a constant cycling and recycling of substance and experiences. Life is never stuck or static or stale, for each moment is ever new and fresh. I am one with the very power that created me, and this power has given me the power to create my own circumstances. I rejoice in the knowledge that I have the power of my own mind to use in any way I choose. Every moment of life is a new beginning point as we move from the old. This moment is a new point of beginning for me right here and right now. All is well in my world.
All is well in my world.
And I pray that you get that last sentence. This moment is a new point of beginning for me right here and right now. And as you embark on the journey with us over the course of the next 9 episodes, as we explore each one of those philosophies individually, that you too will embrace, and it will be a new beginning for you. So on that note, I'm going to say, see you later, and we will see you on episode 3.
I can't wait. I'm so excited to come back.
Bye.
Bye for now.